Hey friends, welcome back. Today I have a book review for you of Beach Read by Emily Henry. Alright, so Emily Henry is one of my favorite authors, so I was really excited when I found out she was coming out with an adult book, and I'll give you just a really brief summary of what happens in this book. So the book is about two writers, January and Gus, and they have completely different writing styles. January writes romantic, like women's fiction, and Gus writes literary fiction, so they couldn't be more different. She's a happy ending girl, and he is all about those sad endings that are gonna make you cry. Okay, they end up as neighbors for the summer in this town, and they actually knew each other in college, and they end up making a bet to see if the other person can write the genre of the other person. So January is going to write literary fiction, and Gus is going to write a rom-com, and of course chaos and sexiness and fun ensues, and there's also some really great depth to the story that, really grounds it a lot. The only complaint I can possibly come up with about this book is that it's already over. I wish I could just read it again and again, or have kept reading it while I was reading it before, because I loved it that much. You are not going to get pretty much any complaints about this book. I'm just gonna gush about it for the next few minutes. So I think that the most important thing about this book for readers to know is that although the premise comes off as kind of this fun, lighthearted, kind of chick lit sort of book, just a romance with a happy ending, it's really not that simple of a book, and there is a lot of hidden depth to it. There are some family things that are going on. There's a lot of exploration of like forgiveness and perception of who a person is versus who they really are. It goes into how hard it is to be a writer and various things along that same kind of theme. The premise and the cover might fool you, but don't let them fool you because it will probably make you cry. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you should be aware of the fact that I am not interested in book shaming people, and I have no book snobbery in me. Even if I enjoy literary fiction or historical fiction or classics as genres, I really don't care what other people read, and in fact, I just want people to read what makes them happy. This book really goes into the idea that there are no right readers or wrong readers or right writers. Or wrong writers. That sounds funny, but you know what I'm trying to say, basically. You are no less a reader or a writer for reading something or writing something that has a happy ending or just gives people enjoyment rather than making people sad, which is something that literary fiction tends to do. I love literary fiction, but just because I love it doesn't mean I can't acknowledge that a lot of it is really sad, and that a writer or a reader is no less valid for enjoying something that doesn't do that to them. It doesn't have to be escapism, it can just be that a book makes you happy. When I finished reading this book, I had a bit of a book hangover. It's one of those books that's going to give you that feeling of like, I wish this book would never end. And part of the reason for that is because Emily Henry has written characters that are just so distinct and just have such great, interesting personalities. They're not perfect people. They make mistakes, but they're interesting to read about. They have motivations that make sense. And when I read about characters like that, I can't help but get really, really attached to them. And so that's something that I think this book does really well, because I feel like these characters are real people now. One of the kind of hidden depths that I was referring to when I was talking about the premise for this book is that a lot of the focus of this book, even though it's a romance and it's kind of sexy and fun, a lot of the focus here is on family and on forgiveness and the fact that people are more than one thing. So you can have somebody in your life that you love a whole lot and they are a wonderful person and they've given you so many happy memories, and then they make a mistake or they do something really stupid and you kind of think this person might not be a great person. And the reality is people make mistakes, right? People can be more than one thing. They can be a good person, they can be a good father, they can be a good mother, whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean they're a great friend or a great employee, so people have hidden depths. People are different in different settings in their lives, and people make mistakes. And a huge part of this book is all about forgiveness and how we perceive the people around us. And even if they make those mistakes, that doesn't invalidate those memories that we have of them that are good. Obviously, I loved this book a whole lot, and so I wish I could recommend it to every person that I know, but from a practical standpoint, I know that this isn't actually going to appeal to everybody. If you are not looking for something that's a little bit on the sexy side, probably skip this one because it does have some steamy scenes. But if you are looking for something that's kind of sexy and fun, but still has that heartbreak in it and isn't just fluff and is well written, you might enjoy this one. Thanks so much for watching my book review of Beach Read by Emily Henry. Please like and subscribe and comment below your thoughts on this book. Have a great day. BRB with Blind Rabbit Books.